Hey everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to be playing some The World RPG. This is a modded map on Warcraft 3. It's, I've played quite a lot of this map. It's mostly about the endgame boss battles, but there's quite a bit of a lengthy leveling and gearing process you have to do before that. And there's not a whole lot of content here on YouTube, so I figured I'd show off the process of picking a character you want to play and how to level up and get ready for raids. This will be a pretty long series, maybe do it in 1 hour videos or so. I hope to show off the entire leveling process and talk about my decision making while doing it. First thing you gotta do, obviously, is pick a character. We have strength, agility, and intelligence heroes to pick from. Some characters are going to have a much more difficult time with the leveling process. You got some support characters who are just going to be a lot slower. Um, and a few characters are going to have a much faster time. There's a lot of difference in complexity of classes. Some of them are very simplistic, like the martial artist is almost entirely passives. Um, the sword enchanter and the thunderer fall under there too. Um, Today I'm going to be playing the Berserker, though. This is one of the few classes I haven't leveled up yet. So you can go ahead and double click. If you want to try out a character, you can always click them, and if you type in repick, as long as you haven't saved or loaded, you can always test it out. So you don't have to keep remaking the game every time you want to try a new class. My main class is the Crusader here, but Berserker is what I'm going to be playing today. First off, just going to set up my hotkeys. If you press escape, you can pull up your bag. I'm going to hotkey that. I'm going to come over here and pick up some early starting gear. Some abilities are going to have some screen shake effects. I like to turn that off just by typing in dash shake. And I'm going to zoom my camera in a little bit. For raids and stuff later in the game, you're going to want that to be a little more zoomed out probably, so you can see everything going on. But here in the first area, as you saw, you can take this portal to and from town as you please. The first couple areas are level requirements, so but you come in and just start auto-attacking some enemies. Like I said, some classes are gonna do this a lot faster than others. This character I'm playing is a strength character, and they're quite tanky. Haven't played too much of them, so going to be learning this one as I record. But they have a lot of lifesteal on them, which is nice. At levels 3, 10, 20, 60, 120, and 260, you're going to unlock your abilities. Every class is the same in that. Our first ability on our queue looks to be an AoE. Activate that, yeah. Does a knockback, consumes HP, but of course we have heal for max HP times 4% on every attack as our starting passive ability. So that shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, okay. You can see up here, every time we level up, we gain 4 stat points. Can type in the stat you want and the amount you want to spend. For most characters, your primary attribute, in this case strength for this character, is what you're going to want to spend all of your stat points on. The rest of your stats you'll be able to fill out easily with gear as you progress. Our goal here is to hit level 10 so we can move on to the next area, but there's a couple of drops we may want to pick up from some of these enemies. Of course, playing this with a group is going to make it go a lot faster. We had a robe drop here, which is an int armor. I could probably wear it, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's going to keep killing some of these bosses. We'll swap out our weapon here for a little more damage. And we're gonna keep doing this. This is the biggest boss in the area. He has a chance to drop a pretty good weapon and a nice accessory. So we'll probably kill him 2 or 3 times and hope we get one of those. Nothing that time, but that's okay. So we have more stat points. You always want to keep spending these stat points as often as possible. There's an anti-AFK measure here, so if you don't spend your stat points enough, and just over time it'll build up. So you gotta keep on that. The stat points will come pretty quick in the early levels, just because you're gonna be leveling so much. But that's okay. So we've hit level 10 here now. So we could move on to the next area, and we also unlocked our next ability here. But I'm not going to move on quite yet, since I'd like to get something from this boss here that spawns, the large gray wolf. You notice as we kill some of these guys, you might see some pop-ups saying we're getting some loot. If we check out our bag here, you see we got some things: spider legs, wolf hides, silverback, wolf fang. These are going to drop off these enemies, and in earlier editions you'd have to pick those items up, but it automatically goes into your bag now, so that's nice and easy. You can take a look at our second ability here. Looks like another AoE, but a debuff this time. Still dealing damage off our HP, which is cool. Let's test that out. Yeah. See, it takes a big chunk of our health there, 30%, but of course we're healing so much of it back. There we go. The Silver Fang. That is the first thing I want to pick up. It's a big chunk of damage, but there's actually a recipe we can make with it. Anytime you want to check out a recipe, you can just type in recipe and the name of the item. There we go. You can see Golden Fang is crafted with the Silver Fang and the Kobold War Tactics. Now, early on, the item crafting really not that important, and from here we can actually just move back onto town to the next area. That was what I wanted to get. Most of these early game crafts are not that important. You're going to outgear the items, but they can be nice for leveling up quickly. So what we're going to do is head over here to Village Chief, and this is where these items come into play. As you go through areas and kill the enemies, you'll have these quest hand-ins to get some experience in gold. Not a huge deal, but it adds up. Got one more level from that, I think. So we'll spend our strength points there again. If you come over here and see the forge, if you had the items in your inventory or in your bag, then this would bring up a list of items that you can craft, and you can combine the items that way. Next, we're going to head on to the Kobold Camp. I'm going to group up some of these enemies and drop my AoE nice and easy. Oh, maybe bit off a little more than I could chew. Oh, well, that's okay. Not taking into account the life cost of my abilities, and I don't have any armor right now. That's okay. There's very little penalty to dying. As you get to a higher level, there's going to be some longer respawn times, but overall, it's not that big of a deal. I think I just got to remember to keep auto attack and stuff to make sure I'm healing. And keep spending those stat points. Of course, strength is going to increase my damage, but it's also going to increase my health, make me a little more survivable. You got an item drop here. Let's see what that is. Helm. That's going to be a little extra armor. That'll be nice. Most of these early items, like this Kobold's old leather helm, they aren't going to have any recipes for them. So if we type in Kobold's old leather helm, you see nothing's going to pop up there. So most of the early game items aren't going to have recipes. It's just a handful. It mostly comes into play as you get into some of the later gearing and bosses. So we're going to kill the boss of this area here. He can drop a couple good items. Might be nice. Nice. So it's actually slightly better than what we have here. I'm going to pull my bag. I'm going to grab this Silver Fang, because there's still an upgrade we can do for that, which will be better once we get it. Not that, though. These kobolds have a chance of dropping the Kobold's War Tactics item, which is quite nice. We'll pick up our level 20 ability here, if it would go. There we go. Okay, looks like we have a passive. Okay. Increases attack damage based on strength, based on missing HP. Okay, that's cool. Each attack increases our strength and attack speed. Cool. And we can toggle it to consume HP per second. Well, that sounds dangerous. Helm. No armor yet, but that's okay. What we're looking for is the Kobold War Tactics item, which can be crafted to make that golden Fang we saw earlier. And there's another accessory that we can get from this boss as well still. Unfortunately, no drop that time, but that's okay. In one more level, we'll be able to head on to the next area as well. There we are. Let's spend our stat points there. I'm actually going to pull the camera out a little bit further. Yeah, that's a little nicer. Okay. This class is proving to be a lot faster than some other classes. So it might be taking a little longer for you if you're playing maybe a more supporty character, maybe someone with a little less strong abilities early on, but that's okay. And if you're playing in a group, a lot of this is going to go a lot faster as well. Just a duplicate item there. Well, it's an int item, which we don't really need, but it is still a little bit more armor, so I guess I should be wearing it either way. As you can see from the abilities, our int and agility aren't really going to do much of anything, since we don't even have mana. Intelligence is basically a dead stat on this character. But not all characters are going to be the same. Some are going to be a little more hybrid. Still hasn't spawned here yet. Doesn't really explain how much the bleeding chance, the damage from that does on the passive, but looks to be pretty significant though. Will make boss fights pretty easy, I imagine, stacking up those bleeds. Bleeds tend to make for some pretty crazy single target in most games. Okay, still no drop. Ideally, we'd like to get 2 of the Kobold War Tactics, but it's not really that important. They don't seem to want to be dropping, so we'll probably move on to the next area shortly. You can see that we've got a pop-up. You don't increase your skills like you would in a normal game of Warcraft, but instead they just level up as you level up. So you can see that this is doing 140% pure damage. I think it was 130 before, so that's a 10% increase on the damage there. And they'll just automatically level up as you level. There we go. Get some extra HP on there. Okay. We can head on to the next area now. See, we've picked up some more items for quest hand-ins here. The Kobold Bags, Mystery Scrolls, and Kobold Fangs. So we're 34 now, but if we hand all these in... 37. Not bad. Spend those stat points again. And honestly, the rest of this stuff, we're not going to be handing any of these in. And we didn't get the crafting component for that, so that's not going to be much use to us either. So we just drop that on the ground. And we'll head on to the next area. Got some more bosses and enemies to fight here. That's how most of the game goes, is going area to area for higher level enemies, until you get to the later game sections, in which case you'll be going to fight mostly bosses. It's a lot of the grinding in the early game, but unfortunately we didn't get what we were looking for there. We can get a decent weapon upgrade from this guy, but he seemed to not want to drop it. And we're going to move right on past them. We'll come back and kill that boss a couple more times in a bit. But we can group up some enemies, and actually don't have enough to instant kill them. But we can keep spending our strength, and it is actually more damage. Not high enough level. 45. Well, we'll come pick that up in a moment then. Want to be careful not to spend all my HP. Try and regen some of this back. You can see I'm healing a decent amount when I level as well, so I imagine that lifesteal is going to become pretty strong later on. I guess it's not lifesteal, it's just a maximum amount of our percent of our HP, which is also pretty good. Also 45, which we can wear now. Be swapping out gear pretty often early on here, but as you start getting better pieces and crafting gear, you'll be holding on to the same piece of equipment for quite some time. We'll head right on over to the boss. See how we do here. Maybe we'll clear out these guys first. Next ability is going to be at 60, so we'll get that shortly. Oh wow, that really does drain your HP quite fast. Doesn't really explain what it does. Looks like maybe faster attack speed, probably more damage. We'll have to look into that a little more. So we did get the two-handed sword, which is the strength variant, which we can use. So we'll swap over and start using that. It does give us an attack speed penalty, but the damage more than makes up for it, I'd say. Keep spending our stat points. When you spend a little bit of time here to get some levels, this will be the best place to level up for a little bit. And we did not. You can press W here, or just use the skill, click it if you like, to swap between slots. You have 4 other storage slots on your bag that you can move between. Things will automatically get picked up and put into them, so you might have to cycle through to find them. This boss here and the next boss we're about to fight are going to drop an item called Nature Powder, I believe. Yeah, Nature Powder. And we need this to fight another optional boss that we can fight pretty early on for some decent gear, so. Okay. Got another boss down here. He dodged the attack there. That was some bad timing on my part. Yeah, that bleed seems to be doing some pretty good damage. Okay, looks like this is the real one. Yeah. Oh, a nice ring upgrade. Level 60 though, so we can't quite use it. So we'll just have our bag come pick that up till we're level 60. Nice armor upgrade, we'll grab that. Kill this boss again. Now we have 2 nature powders, so we need 2 every time we would like to fight the boss, which we fight back over here. If we bring the nature powder to this spot here, it'll spawn the boss up here. They drop a couple good items that will help us speed up the leveling process in other areas, so. Okay, there we go, level 60. So we'll bring this on and drop this ring down. Get rid of our old one, put this one on. Much, much better. 20 extra stats and 800 to life. Mana obviously doesn't matter, but now we're level 60. We've also unlocked our next ability, which is another active. Also consumes HP, so we're going to have to be careful with how we combo our abilities. Deals bonus damage to bleeding targets. Interesting. Lasts for 2 seconds. Okay. Seems like a decent ability. We'll go give that a try. We'll try it up on this guy here. Whoa, okay. So it's kind of like the Blade Master Blade Storm ability. It's on a decently short cooldown too. That's not too bad. See if we can, trigger this guy to split. I think this is the real one here. Ooh. Forest Helmet, also nice. Get that upgrade, some extra armor. Make sure to keep spending those stat points. And it goes like this for a little while. We'll probably die on our first attempt, but a lot of bosses it's okay if you die on early on because they're going to keep their hit points about where they are, so you can keep running back to them until you get them. Kind of brute force the boss if you want. It's not that big of a deal. Seems like a decent character so far. Seems like with their healing, they might be pretty good at soloing some bosses as well, so I'd like to see how that turns out later. Okay, and kill him first just to make the other boss a little easier, since I don't want to have to fight both at the same time. If we come over here and we just bring our bag to us, you see it'll consume the nature powder there, and we'll have another boss up here. We'll see if we can get, we got the bleed on it, so then we'll activate our ability here. Ooh. Seemed okay. Seems to be, I think the healing's keeping up with it, actually. Let's see what happens in, yeah, so it drains our hit points really, really fast, but does make us attack faster, it looks like. So he cast a spell on us here, an Entangling Roots ability. Yeah, so he got us. We almost got the kill, though, so that's not that big of a deal. There's quite a rare drop we want from this guy to fill in our 5th item slot. Because I haven't really talked too much about the types of items. But you have your weapon, helmet, armor, accessory. And then you also have a wings slot, which can be a variety of different items. And let's see what he drops. Oh, look at that. It's the weapon for us. That's actually really nice. See, we got a lot of XP from him as well. So spend all those points. What do we need for this? Level 75? We have it. So this is a much, much bigger damage increase for sure. We don't have that negative attack speed modifier. It's far more damage, like an extra 200 damage, more strength. And we have that armor decrease. That's really nice, yeah. Another drop here from the Furbolg boss. Just a temporary little buff. So now we're gonna go head back and kill these guys, and maybe kill that treant boss a couple more times. If we can get the wings from him, that'd be pretty nice. It'd give us some extra stats. See if we can get him to split, and then, seems quite hard to maneuver that, but we got one nature powder. Passive is increased. Oh, it's actually going to heal us for more of our max. Oh, there it is. I'm blind. Deals attack damage times 80% per second for the bleeding. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's a really good passive. That's one of the better ones. Some characters have some pretty underwhelming abilities for sure. Ah, well, speaking of wings, these troll boots you'd think might be in a boot slot, but they actually fill in the wing slot. A nice 25 all stats is pretty good. The other wings that we can get will end up being better if we can get them. If we don't get them in a couple kills, then we'll just move on. They're not that big of a deal. Hmm. I guess the armor drain isn't as important for like this ability dealing pure damage, since this is gonna ignore armor anyways. But how are we doing? Perfect timing. And see if we can't get the bleed on the boss. Okay, so this is the real one here. You can just tell by how much damage they take, which is the real one. Ring and helmet, which we already have. He does drop a decent armor that we could use as well, give us some nice stats, but it's not all that important. There's armor that we can get. Ah, yes, we have 2 nature powder now. There's armor we can get from the tree ant boss over here as well. So if we can get that, that'll be much better anyways. And make sure to spend our stat points. So we come over here, drop those 2 nature powders on there, and here we go. So we'll do that to, yeah, that's some pretty good damage actually. It is quite hard to control it though, but yeah, use that entangling roots on us again. But not too bad. Nice, we got the wing drop. That's actually really good. So these only give us the 25 all stats, but if we take a look at these over here, they give us 60 all stats as well as some bonus XP and a way to teleport back to town really easily. These also do have a craft. Wings of Nature. So you can make the Wing of Sea, but we need a couple other items, which we'll get in the next area. We'll see if we can get them to drop. They're quite rare as well. I don't want to have to grind for them too long. See, they also give you that little model change on your back. I think those might actually be an updated texture. Yeah, I think those are new for this version. I haven't played this version yet. Very nice. Okay, well there's some other stuff we could probably get there, but we'll just move on now. And before we do that, we'll head over here and hand in whatever quest items we have and clean up our bag. Yeah. I assume we're going to have a lot of troll stuff since we killed a lot more trolls. Yeah. Okay. Oh, our E leveled up there. Still draining the same amount of health per second. These are from the bosses. Yeah, that was a lot of XP. Level 104. Almost 10 levels, I think. Spend those strength points. And from there, we will get rid of some of these stuff. We're not going to be killing those enemies again, so might as well get rid of those items, get them out of the inventory. So there's this here goes towards some of these early areas. And we could take this to the capital, but that's actually not going to be as fast. This is the standard teleporter you'll be using for most of the game. Not too many locations to go to. But you can see, in order to get some of these areas, we need a little higher level, but at level 60 we can also go here to the mine village. It's actually going to get us to where we want to go a little faster. The capital is going to be up here somewhere. And we want to head down here, so. And we can start killing some murlocs. Those building stacks are really nice. The increased damage on them. So, of course, we want to farm the boss of this area as much as possible. So we'll come all the way down to the southern end here and find the dragon turtle boss here. Do that, debuff him, and then use that. Easy. He didn't drop anything this time, but that's okay. Yeah, that combo, as soon as you get them bleeding from the passive, they're going to take more damage from the Blade Rush here, and then you can debuff them here to make them take more magic damage. I like that combo. That's not too bad. So far, the combos don't seem overly complicated for this character. So I guess if you're looking for an easy character to start with, strength heroes are always a good idea because they're going to be a lot harder to kill. And this one seems to be very survivable, so just got to be careful with spamming your abilities a lot, I guess. And I could probably be doing this a little more efficiently, grouping up enemies and trying to use my AoEs on them like this if I hit some of these guys. Some of this stuff might be slightly more efficient for grinding, I imagine, but don't have to get too technical with it. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to leave my bag, again, pressing escape to teleport your bag to you. I'm going to leave my bag here so that I can see when the boss spawns again, so that I can go down. And we will spend our stat points. At 120, we can start moving on to the next area, which I'll probably do. And what I'll be doing is coming back and forth between killing the bosses in hopes that I can get some loot from the bosses rather than the rest of the enemies. Level 82, so I am actually high enough level to swap this over from 30 armor, 600 HP, over to more than twice as much armor and a lot more HP. Actually, maybe that is less HP from that strength. How much is it per point? 5 per? My math isn't great. So I think it is actually slightly less HP, but it doesn't matter. It's more damage. That's what matters. The boss is back up, however, so we'll go kill them. And same deal. We'll wait till they're bleeding, then we'll debuff them, and then we'll activate our. Oh, that's very powerful. Yeah. So of course, having HP scaling abilities as a strength hero is going to mean late game when we have lots and lots of HP. It is going to start dealing a lot of damage. And we'll go. And almost 120, so we can start rotating between the two bosses. Ah, here we go. So from this point on, areas are going to start dropping these items here, which are used for summoning field bosses. Some of these early ones we can handle no problem, but as we get into later areas, they're going to be a little tough to solo until we have better gear. But for now, we can summon this, and I'm going to go with the King Crab here. I think he has some slightly better equipment for me. I'll try the same thing, wait till they're bleeding, debuff, and then use this. Yeah, that's some pretty good damage. Heal back up. Oh! I don't know what he hit me with there. But we just about got him. And we can head back there real quick. Head to the mine village. And run on back down. Now these bosses will slowly heal over time, so if you were to leave and go do something else and come back, they might be healed back up. So for some of the tougher ones, it'll be more important to keep getting back to them until they're dead, but as you can see, he's not healing very fast, so there we go. And unfortunately, we didn't get any item drops from him either. That sucks, but that's okay. Deep Ring, I think, is going to be better than the one we have now. 36 all stats. It is. That's a decent upgrade. I don't actually really care about all stats that much. All we're really getting from it is a little bit of attack speed and, I guess, crit and armor, but we mostly care about just stacking as much strength as possible, since that's going to make our base damage higher and a lot of our abilities deal a lot more damage. So we are 126 now, so we can actually move on to the next area, which we will do. Spend our stat points. If we head down here to this guy, we can take him to teleport to some of these areas, or in that teleporter back in town, if we were here, we can teleport directly to these areas as well. But we're going to go to the Frosty Snowfield. You can see right up here we have the teleporter, so if we wanted we could teleport around using this as well. We'll start killing some of these enemies. We're going to really just skip these trolls. We want to head up here and get to the big boss. See if we can get a bleed on him. And then as soon as we get a bleed on him, we can debuff, and then there we go. Of course, he gives us an intelligence weapon as a strength hero. It's the curse of this game, especially as you start getting later. You're going to be getting all the items you don't want on this character. But that's the way it goes. Okay, so now that we killed him, we'll head back and kill the turtle again. The bosses are going to be one of the best sources for experience anyways, as opposed to just grinding mobs. Unless you're a really efficient AoE character, the bosses are usually going to be better XP. And he's back up now. And we'll hit him until we get a bleed off, debuff, spin, and he's dead. Easy, no problem. Even a little overkill, probably. Still don't know how useful this is going to be as a skill. The passive on it is quite strong, but the active, I don't know. I suppose it from the... I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do. We'll head back to the snowfield. Make sure to spend our stat points, which will slow down greatly as we get later into the game and levels slow down. The maximum level is 420, but that takes quite a while to get to. Wow, again no drops. That is unfortunate. I think we can swap this out for this armor. Better armor and stats, not bad. And we're going to keep doing this. Yeah, the stacking damage seems to be nice. Ooh, that's actually strength times 40 instead of 30, and an extra 100% magic damage per second. That makes that a lot stronger. Levels on that are pretty good. Yeah, we'll keep heading back and forth. I guess it would be better to be farming the trolls in the ice field than it would be to farming these murlocs for XP while we wait. We're almost at 160, so we can move to the next area as well. And killing these early area bosses is, like I said, it's going to be some of the best XP you can get early on. And it's what you'll be doing for, well, for a while. We're only almost 40 minutes in now, and already 143. I know a lot of people playing this as their first time struggle with the leveling process quite a lot, and having an example of how to get through it pretty quick can be nice. So hopefully these are helpful videos to some people. Get a bleed, spin, gun, no thank you. Okay. See, every time we kill one of those bosses, we're getting a decent chunk of levels. And of course, the potential for some better gear upgrades is really why we're doing this. The amount we're healing just from our auto attacks is kind of crazy as well. Let's see if any of them's dropped a helmet. It can be kind of hard to read this color. I picked a pretty hard color to read, but it's all armor and robes. No helmets, unfortunately. Group up some enemies, AoE them down. Of course, a lot of our ability costs are percentage HP based, right? So our actual total HP is not going to make a big difference on them, only for the abilities that scale off damage, which so far is just our W that scales its damage based on our HP, but perhaps... Oh, I forgot about our 120 ability. That one's been sitting there for a while. Let's see what we got here. Another passive. Based on missing HP to deal damage, sure. Casting Brandish, which one is that? That's our Q. Empowers the next 3 attacks with bonus damage. Okay, I was wondering, the Q doesn't seem very strong to be using regularly, but that makes it a lot better. The active. Wow, consumes 80% of our max HP, but doubles attack speed and move speed. And makes us unkillable for the duration for 8 seconds. That's really nice. I wonder, some bosses later on in the game are going to have some instant kill effects that you need to learn to read and avoid. I wonder if that would allow us to avoid instant death effects. Perhaps I'll have to test that out. So AoE these guys down. Yeah, the healing on our attacks. I imagine stacking agility and attack speed is actually going to be pretty good for this character. I guess it'll make this Berserk really strong as well. So just like the magical horn we found in the other area, there's another boss item that can drop here. And hopefully we can get some of that to drop, because there's a couple good items I wouldn't mind getting there. I know there's a decent helmet I would like to get. Of course, if you'd like to learn more about the specific bosses and what they can drop and what their abilities are, there is a wiki that you can check out, which has... It's a little dated now, but it has the basic descriptions of the abilities and how they work. So you can give that a search if you want, see if you're looking for some specific items. Oh, just like that, we got another magical horn. This turtle boss we don't really care too much about. It's mostly these items here, but the bosses have a higher chance of dropping these boss spawn items than the regular enemies. I believe so anyways. Okay, let's give this ultimate a try, see what this is like. Yeah? Okay. Oh. Oh, wow. That's... He dropped both of the items we need for this upgrade. If you remember, we can do recipe Wing of Sea is what we want to craft. We need the waterfall shoes, sea jewel, and some worthless magic stones. These are actually both of the items that we need. So we're going to pick both these up. These would be fine to use on their own as well. This would be a nice 65 all stats. We don't really care about the HP regen. The healing from the active would be pretty good, but we have some decent stats on this anyways. Getting the upgrade to the wings is probably going to be better. So we're going to do that quick. Or to get back to where we want to go faster, we'll head over here to a teleporter. And whoop, spend those stat points. We're going to want to head over here to the blacksmith. He has some pickaxes we can buy. You can see available ores, worthless magic stone. That's what we need for the craft. So we'll take that. And we'll head over to the mine village and head up here into the mines. We come and spend a lot of time here in the end game especially, but we can get a couple of these items. We only need 3, so if we just get our bag now and look for the worthless magic stones. I'll just grab all these. We don't need the lesser, we just need the 3 worthless. So now we can head back here. And we can head over here and do some crafting. You can see we have the Wing of Sea requires level 100, which we meet. And these have been upgraded. Have a nice little water effect around us now. And if we check this out, it's much more all stats. And compile some of the abilities from the other items together. Still gives us that bonus XP, but also has the chance to temporarily increase EXP gain. I don't really care about the MP regen stuff, but it's more stats and XP, and yeah. And we'll be wearing these for a little while now. So we are level 161, which means we can head to the next area, the Duchy of Wallachia. We can also take the boat to get here, back and forth, which we will be doing. And we'll start killing some of the guys here. Now the area boss here, those item drops, like we fought the king crab there, they're going to be a little too tough for us to kill right now. Some characters might be strong enough to pull it off, but until you get some better gear, it's going to be pretty hard. We are still using a weapon from like the 3rd area, so getting a nice weapon upgrade would be good. Oh, so our Q's buff actually gives it some splash damage too, or is that from something else? Oh, okay, so it's the buff on our Q's is actually what's giving us that AoE. That's actually really nice. And just a damage bonus in general. That makes the Q a much better ability. See, these guys are also dropping magic stones. We can get more into the crafting and the mining stuff later when it becomes more relevant in a future video. Okay. Now this is the normal way to get up to this boss, but there is actually a faster way I'll show off in just a moment. So when you're going back and forth between these bosses to kill them over and over, Hood. We don't care about Hood. We're gonna head up here, and we got another boss here. We're probably gonna die here. Oh, yeah, maybe I should have used my T ability there. Some bosses now are going to start popping up that shield. It's going to reduce the damage they take by a ridiculous amount. So there are some abilities that can break shields, but this class, so far anyways, doesn't have one. But as you can see, it's not that big of a deal. We'll head back here. And there's actually a faster way to get up towards that boss. So I'll show that off right here. If you head up here behind these houses, can run up behind this church here. And this will actually pull you right up here. Go, we can head back in. We will AoE these guys down. We'll do this again. Maybe this time, with the ability active, we won't die. Never mind. These guys are hitting like a truck compared to what we're used to. But that's okay. He's about half HP. Like I said, sometimes you're going to come to bosses that you kind of have to brute force. If you're in groups, you can usually handle them a lot better, but soloing, you're probably going to die a couple times, even with a tanky character, so. Let's head back up and give it another try. At this point, you might be wondering what the point of gold is, and really you shouldn't worry too much about gold. It doesn't do a whole lot. Okay. Yeah, he hurts. Whew. So we wait for his shield to fall off, and... Ooh. Oh my, they killed me real fast. rambling a little bit, but yeah, gold is just used for a little bit of crafting later on in the game. You can basically ignore it. It's mostly just about getting drops from enemies. You don't really spend gold on much. But we'll run back up towards here and see if we can't get a kill on this boss. Get an item drop. Maybe a new weapon would be good. Get some better damage. Ooh. Ooh, they deal a lot of damage. Yeah. The spending HP for abilities is definitely pretty big. But I'll get used to it. Hopefully I can take this character all the way into some of the harder endgame bosses. I'll start playing with some groups online for that stuff later. I won't be able to solo everything. I just figured for the basic leveling stuff, I might as well show it off solo, just in case you don't have anyone available to join a game. There is a Discord, and it's very active. The game gets updated regularly. Kind of forgot about that ability. Ooh. So we died, but we did get a ring drop, which the sword is a one-handed, an agility sword, so we won't be able to use that. But the ring, however, will be a nice big increase to our HP and all stats, so that's good. Oh yeah, much bigger increase. So we're gonna go there, pick that up quick, and then we'll go clear out the other bosses again. And you're gonna want to repeat this cycle for a little while until you get some decent gear from these bosses. There's one more main area that we can grind after this. And then there are some side areas that we can grind as we progress on. Oh, not high enough level. We need 200 for it. So instead, I'll get my bag here to come pick it up, and we'll use it once we're level 200. And see, we got another area like this here. You might have seen a couple of these as we've been going along. They're used for summoning bosses, as you saw we did with the Treant in the third area there. I'll show more off about summoning those bosses once we're strong enough to actually fight them. Now, we have been getting a few of these pickups, these rusty weapon pickups, so we'll hand these in. Yeah, get a few more levels. We'll head back here, kill the turtle. No drop, that's okay. And we'll head over to the snowfield and kill the polar bear. You see the stat points are coming in a lot slower now since we're leveling slower, but still got to make sure to keep up with them. One-handed. Yeah, we can definitely use a nice weapon upgrade right about now. And we can head here, and we'll come back over here and kill this guy. It's probably going to take a couple more deaths to kill him again, but that's okay. He hasn't quite respawned yet. I think with proper use of our Berserk and Blade Rush, we can probably kill the ads around us a lot better without dying ourselves. Okay, so he's using his Darkness Wave ability there and try and dodge that. Drop this down and start attacking. He's going to summon these guys. Oh, and I missed that completely. That was terrible. Oh my, I'm dead. That was terrible. Why did it do that? Definitely got to learn the aiming on that a little better. This guy's still a little tough, but with some better gear, should be able to kill him a lot easier. A good weapon upgrade would be nice. Actually, let me double check. See if that turtle is back up yet. He is. Kill him off quick. I don't know if that's actually going to be better. 620, 42 with the attack speed. Yeah, it's actually worse. Unfortunate, but that's okay. Come here and kill the polar bear. There we go. No drops as per usual. I've had some pretty bad luck with the RNG drops, especially as you get later in the game. There's a lot of 1 and 3% drops from bosses. So when you do roll that 3% drop or 1% drop, and it's the wrong item, oh. But that's the whole point of the game, is grinding those end game bosses, usually in groups. Can be nice and relaxing, I find. Okay, just gonna dodge his AoE there. So that one there, you impotent fool, that is a targeted stun where he can continue to auto-attack you. So during that, I kind of just got bad luck there. There was nothing I could do. See if we can kill him one more time, though, before I end the video. Since we are coming up on an hour and a bit. Okay, let's give this another try. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow, that actually doesn't kill them very well at all. Hmm. Okay. Okay, instead of dying, let's leave and heal up on some of these guys. Probably be a little bit faster. Hey, I'm gonna level up too, so that's nice. E leveled up again, that's good. Okay. Try this again. Oh my. These guys are dealing a lot of damage. Very squishy. I gotta be auto-attacking to be healing, but if I'm standing still letting these guys hit me, I'm just gonna die. Yeah, I should have waited another couple seconds for them to disappear and then go back in on the boss, but I was impatient. That's okay. Teleport here. Over here. Spend those stat points. 8 strength isn't really going to make that big of a difference, but you just don't want them to stack up too high, so. Okay, well, we'll get them next time. Those bleeds do a decent amount of damage, and do continue after I've died, too. Okay. Should be able to get him this time. The cooldown on this Berserk is actually surprisingly low for what the ability does, making you unkillable for 8 seconds. Okay. I'm actually going to wait here until these guys despawn. Maybe a little boring, but... There we go. You, of course, can always resummon them, but Oh, I didn't get it off in time. Come on, there we go. Okay, and we got him. Ah, okay. No drop again. That's unfortunate. The swords we're not actually able to use, being one-handed agility weapons. We need to be using two-handed weapons as a strength character, or as this strength character anyways. Different characters are going to have different types. Is it here? Yeah, we can't actually see them right now, but there are a couple other heroes with different weapon classes in the different categories. Not all strength heroes use two-handed swords, although a lot of them do. There are a couple that use, there's one that uses glove weapons, and another that uses, the merchant, I believe, uses a special weapon class of its own. We'll go kill these bosses one more time, and then wrap this video up. See if we can't get one of the item bosses to fight. Hey, there we go. Oh, don't need this pick right now. Now he dropped a hard turtle shell here. That's actually, I think, I believe this is a wing, and it might actually be better than the one we're using. It is, yeah. It's, I think it's actually less health, but that 50 HP regen is tempting. Maybe I'll just hold on to it for now. Have my bag pick it up. Everything in your bag saves, so. We'll summon up the king crab here. Can kind of just tank through the bosses at this point. Not that big of a deal. Shell sword. I think it's just so much less damage and 2 more strength. Yeah, it's not worth it. I think we could use it if we wanted to. We can. And it does upgrade, so we will pick it up. The recipe for the shell sword. Yeah, the parasitic sword. But infected tentacles we have to fight another boss for later. So we'll hold on to that and perhaps we'll use it. Let's go kill this polar bear one more time. Ah, okay. Well, we didn't get a single drop for this area, which is kind of sucks, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm going to be making a whole lot more videos, progressing through this character and gearing up. Maybe in a couple upcoming videos, I'll actually play in a public lobby with some other players. It can get a little hectic when there's other people doing other stuff, though. So yeah, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want. See the future episodes. I'll be uploading pretty often for this series, I hope. And I hope you guys enjoyed. You can type in our save here. Oh, okay. So the Raven Ring we had there didn't save because we're not high enough level for it, but that's okay. We'll get plenty of other ring items. But it automatically saves in a text file in your custom map data in your Warcraft 3 folder. So you can go find it and copy paste that. This is just kind of here from back in the old school days. Used to have to print screen and write that stuff out. But anyways, yeah, I'll be back with another video pretty shortly. Hope you guys liked following along, and I'll see you next time.